friends, welcome back to a new video and happy new year. I recently learned that in the new year a lot of people try doing Veganuary. It's kind of like a challenge, and basically what you challenge yourself to do is to eat plant-based for the whole of January. Now I know January's already started, but I still wanted to encourage you to try out Veganuary. And I know that for me personally, when I started out being vegan, the most difficult part was not knowing what I was going to cook or eat. So I wanted to give you guys some ideas on easy vegan recipes that you can try out. These are really delicious recipes that even non-vegans will find really delicious. These are recipe ideas for a week, Monday to Friday, and some of these you can even prep ahead or cook for multiple days, which I know is really essential if you're busy. I really like starting out the new year with a little bit of a challenge, and I know that eating plant-based can be really daunting for a lot of people, but if you just try it out for a month, you can kind of, I guess, try it out without this whole big fear of commitment. So let me know if you do try it out, and let me know which recipes you tried out, and enjoy the video. Starting out with a delicious falafel sandwich for lunch. I'm cheating here and using a half pre-made falafel where you just have to soak the chickpea flour with some water, let that sit, and then shape it into falafels. I like to make my falafels rather flat so they can fry more easily in the pan. And just heat up some olive oil and fry them until golden brown on each side. Once the falafel is done, I prepare the rest of the ingredients. I'm slicing up some onion. I think onion is really delicious in sandwich, and cutting up some fresh bread. I like to toast my bread. It makes it so much more delicious. Here I'm spreading on some tomato spread, but you can also just use some hummus, just something to make the sandwich a little more moist. Then adding some washed baby spinach for some greens, the falafel, and I decided to add some dried tomatoes, and of course the onions. Pile it on and your sandwich is done. It's so easy and so delicious. Perfect for a quick lunch. Next up, we have a lemon parsley pasta. I love the flavor of lemon. Here I am shaving off the skin of the lemon. Make sure only to get the yellow part. Don't cut into the white part. That will make it taste more bitter. You can also, of course, use a grate. It makes the job so much easier. Then I'm cutting up some garlic. Just mince that finely. And also some dried chili for a little bit of spiciness. Then on to cook the pasta. I like to use spaghetti for this dish. In the meantime, I'm frying up the garlic, chili, and lemon in a little bit of olive oil. Now I'm adding some frozen parsley. You can of course also use fresh. And in the meantime, I'm preparing a little side salad for some vitamins. I'm using sweet bell pepper and a cucumber. Seasoning that with some olive oil, salt and pepper, and some balsamic vinegar. Then when the pasta is done, add that to your parsley and lemon in the pan. Drizzle some olive oil, some extra lemon juice, salt and pepper, a little bit of pasta water, and mix it up until the sauce gets soaked up by the pasta, so just a few minutes, and then serve it up. You're done. I really love the flavors of this one, and also so easy to make. Next up, we have a macro bowl for lunch. This one is really nice and creamy. Firstly, I'm preparing the tofu, just dicing that up into cubes and marinating that with some soy sauce, some sesame oil. Mix that up and then adding all that to a pan. I just want to fry that up slightly to warm it up, to soak the sauce into the tofu and let it caramelize a little bit. Then I'm steaming some frozen green beans for added vitamins, just adding that to a pan with a little bit of water and covering. Then I made some couscous, which is really quick and easy to make. Plating everything up, the tofu, then I microwaved some cooked corn. This is one of those dishes that is amazing to make ahead, so I'm storing the extra ingredients in a box. Cutting up some avocado, adding some warmed blue kraut that was pre-made, and now it's onto the sauce. So I'm mixing some tahini butter and some peanut butter in a bowl, adding some soy sauce, garlic powder, and mixing that up until it's nice and creamy. Plating everything up into the bowl and drizzling the sauce all over. You can really add anything you want to the bowl, but the sauce is the most important part. And that's it. I really love bowls like this. They have so much variety, and this one, as I said, is so deliciously creamy. For dinner, I'm making a vegan chicken curry. This one, again, is a dish you can pre-make a larger batch with. So here I'm soaking the soy bits that are going to be our kind of chicken replacement. Now onto the curry seasoning. So I'm adding coriander seeds, cardamom pods, cloves, and turmeric into a grinder, and kind of grinding that up, mixing that all together. To the soaked and drained soy bits, I'm adding some vegan yogurt and the curry powder. Adding some chili powder, salt and pepper. Mix all that up and let that marinate. Next up, we're cutting up the other ingredients. I'm dicing up some onion, some garlic, also dicing up some fresh tomatoes. Then heating up a medium-sized pot with some olive oil, adding a split cardamom pod, coriander seeds, clove, and 3 bay leaves. Frying that up slightly in the oil before I'm adding the chili flakes and the onion and garlic. Fry that up until fragrant before adding some ginger and the tomatoes. And some turmeric, some tomato paste. I'm adding a splash of water here. Mix that up, and once the tomatoes have cooked into a sauce, I'm adding the chicken and the yogurt, mixing that up and letting that simmer for about 20 minutes. Serving all this up with some fluffy basmati rice and serving up the curry nice and hot. Add a dollop of yogurt on top and add some fresh or frozen coriander, and your curry's done. As I said, this one you can cook ahead and have for quite a few days. This one's so delicious. Next up for lunch, we have a onion lentil soup. This one tastes so good. So firstly, slicing up all the onion into slices. We're using quite a lot of onion here. Heating up some olive oil in a pot, adding all the onions and caramelizing them with some dried rosemary. This will take about 20 minutes or so. Just be patient and keep on stirring. Once the onions are golden brown, add some flour and coat the onions in the flour before adding white wine. Cook the onions in the white wine for a few minutes before adding some tomato paste, water, and your lentils. Adding a bay leaf and letting all this cook until the lentils are done. Make sure to cook this on a low setting. In the meantime, I'm toasting some fresh bread, and what I like to do is to rub some fresh garlic cloves on the toasted bread. This makes it so delicious and nice and garlicky, and your soup is done. Again, this you can cook a bigger batch of and eat for several days, and is so nice, especially for the cold weather. For dinner, I'm making a delicious vodka lemon pasta. This one is a new find for me. I'm mincing up some garlic and cutting up some dried chili. And again, we need the peel of a lemon. This time I'm grating the lemon, heating up some olive oil in a pan, adding the garlic, chili, and lemon, frying that up. And then adding some vodka, which I'm going to set fire to. Be careful if you do this at home, you don't have to do this, but it gives it a caramelized flavor. Make sure to have a fire extinguisher at hand. I like to have a lid at hand. I can just place on the lid and it extinguishes the fire. Then add your diced tomatoes and let that simmer until the sauce thickens. I like to add some capers for some added saltiness and depth in taste. And when the sauce is nice and thick, add your cooked spaghetti, add some lemon juice, a little bit of pasta water, and again toss the pasta on the sauce until the sauce gets soaked in to the pasta, so a few minutes. Adding some parsley, and your pasta is done. This one is so delicious. I love the spiciness and the saltiness of the capers, but also the nice and fresh zestiness of the lemon. Next up, we're making a roasted sweet potato salad. This one is so delicious, nice and refreshing. Firstly, we're roasting the sweet potatoes, half them and place them face down on a baking sheet and rub them with a mixture of olive oil, cumin, and cinnamon. Make sure to coat both sides, also the underside, and bake the sweet potato until done for about 20 minutes to half an hour. Then we're preparing the rest of the ingredients, so dicing up the fresh tomatoes, cutting up some shallots or red onion, and now most importantly again the sauce. So here I'm adding lemon juice to some tahini, mixing that up. Adding some garlic powder, some soy sauce, and a little bit of water. Mixing that up until it has a nice and creamy consistency. Once the sweet potato is done, I'm adding some washed lamb's lettuce on top. Then some corn just from a can, some canned kidney beans for some proteins, and the fresh tomatoes. And of course the red onion. This makes it so delicious, and most importantly the sauce. This dish is so nice and refreshing, perfect for warmer weather, but also really good during winter times. Thank you so much for watching this video. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more on my channel. I have a lot of what I eat in my weeks, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!